littered across the road in front of us was a saddle-billed stork. They'll stand between 4 and 5 feet to that lip and tucking that food directly into their mouths. That's about the width of the canopy right above your head. Now, they are named for that light pink that develops on their back during their mating season. Well, that's completely terrifying. I'm petrified of pelicans. Yep. Over to the left. Hippos in the water behind the guy. Now, during droughts and dry seasons, animals get water from the baobab tree. Now we're going to head down into the African savannas. Savannas are home to some of the most iconic animals in Africa. These wide open spaces, they're perfect for the large herds that migrate here. We have some of the world's fastest land animals that need the wide open spaces for their speeds, and of course, some of the world's largest land animals as well. The giraffes on our reserve are Maasai giraffe. Maasai giraffe have spots that have jagged, irregular edges to them. Most other giraffe species have smooth edges on their spots. It's a pretty easy way to help identify the different types of giraffes. Now, they are the tallest land animal. They can stand upwards of 20 feet tall when fully grown, averaging around 6 foot at birth, which is actually a good thing because the first thing they experience is a 6-foot drop to the ground. Moms don't give birth laying down, only standing up, and it's rare to see giraffes in the wild lay down. Because of their long legs, it does take a few extra moments to lay or stand back up, during which time they are completely vulnerable to predators that are in the area. If you'd like to donate to that, Disney will match it dollar for dollar. Conservation goes towards conservation efforts around the world. If you're 21 and over, we have Painted Wolf wines, excellent wine, and 100% of the proceeds from that goes exclusively to Painted Dog Conservations. The brown antelopes to the left by the tree line, those are sable antelopes. They're the emblem here of the Harambe Reserve. And moving through all these giraffes here. Now, giraffes will spend the majority of their day doing this. Eating and wandering, looking for food to eat. Only around 30 minutes of each day is actually spent sleeping. Now, they live in higher elevations, so they need more oxygen in their bodies. Their hearts are larger than other zebras, allows them to carry and pump more oxygen-rich red blood cells throughout their bodies. I feel like I called this into existence, y'all. 100% karma. All right. Like, I get it. If I have the choice to walk on a nice road or bumpy ground, I'm gonna choose the road. However, I know how fast they can move, and this is not it. The giraffe on the hill to the right-hand side, tucked up in that bush, has got the scritchy scratchies. Use those bushes to help scratch themselves. We're just gonna... Y'all don't look right. We're just gonna... Hold on, let's go. Bye. The cattle to the right.
Stop changing all the settings.
I'm trying to zoom in.
Here is the female. Now, male elands are the largest antelopes in the world, weighing around 2,000 pounds. Females will stand around 4 up, kind of be right in the middle of that little hill there. After that first initial chase, they're left completely exhausted. They've used up all of their energy there. They'll spend 16 to 20 hours each day, kind of inactive, and 6 times better at night. They are opportunistic hunters, but they prefer to hunt at night when they can. Hives of lions are females and they're young. Males live in small bachelor groups. The lioness is laying right there at the end of these rocks as well. If they get a little uneasy, they'll back into the burrows, leaving those tusks out for protection. Another view of the ostrich and some more rhinos on the right.
Black and white bird is a saddle-billed stork. Now they stand about 5 feet tall, a wingspan of about 9 feet, so quite the wingspan. Both male and female are completely identical except for one feature, and that is their eye color. Males have a dark brown, which I think we're seeing here, and then females will have a bright yellow. And the water on the left here, they kind of look like big shadows, big gray shadows there. Maybe we'll get lucky and they'll pop up for a breath. So they can hold their breath for about 8 minutes. They can be underwater here for quite a while. Unfortunately, the water is pretty murky today. It's like a few more up ahead, might be a little easier to see. Although it does look like hippos are swimming when they move along in the water, I promise you, they really aren't. They just kind of sink down to the bottom and walk along the floor of the river. There are a few of them over here, so a group of hippo, that's called a float. I'd like to see what the hippos look like underwater. Definitely check out the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail if you haven't yet already. We got a pretty awesome underwater viewing area of some more hippo there, as well as some fish. Don't worry about the fish though, hippos are herbivores. The African painted dogs are all sleeping in their den right now. Let's get up past this big rock here, they're a lot easier to see on the other side. Notice I said painted dogs though, not hyena, because those are not hyena. They do kind of look similar, they're actually not related at all. Painted dogs is 98%. They don't bark like your dogs at home, they will yip to communicate. Usually do form packs between 5 and 15 adults. Some of the larger animals like the giraffe, they use the mounds just like a back scratching post, kind of like you might use the corner of a wall in your house. Besides giraffe, going to be the largest species of giraffe. They're also the tallest animals on the planet. They do stand about 18 to 20 feet tall. They're known for those super long necks. It does take quite a bit of blood pressure to pump the blood through that long neck to reach their brain. Their hearts are about the size of a basketball, weigh up to 25 pounds. Something else giraffes have that's pretty long is their tongues. Their tongue's about 2 feet long. It's going to allow them to grip the branches, pull them off, eat them. It also means they can lick their own eyeball if they wanted to. Looks like the rest of the giraffe hanging out over here as well, something I mentioned before, but a group of giraffe, that's called a tower. I find that very fitting. Now, moving along over here on the left-hand side, there's a mandrill walking beneath the trees there. I don't see him too often. But mandrill's largest species of monkey, fully grown adult male, seeing one there, weigh about 100 pounds. And just like baboons, got that bright pink and blue coloring in their face and on their butt. Coloring gets a lot brighter and a lot more prevalent as they do get older. Back over to the elephant there. Elephants are known for their trunks. Use their trunks for a few things like eating and drinking. You might be wondering though, why would there be tusk marks over in the clay? So elephants are going to use their tusks. They're going to break off chunks of the clay and they're going to eat it. Which does sound really gross, but hear me out. That clay contains tons of vitamins, nutrients, minerals, all very essential to the elephant's diet. So breaking off that clay and eating it, they're taking their multivitamin. Going for a little jog up ahead here. So she's hanging out far left-hand corner over there. I guess hanging out with her aunt right now. So the aunt there's the second youngest elephant here on the reserve. She's about 8 years old. It's like she's on babysitting duty today. The pink coloring will come in over time though from all of the beta carotene found in the brine shrimp that makes up their diet. With that, we're going to head on out of the western savanna to the eastern part of the savanna. Eastern savanna, home to some animals like the white rhino, the ostrich, cheetah, and the lion. Hopefully we'll see those 4 animals out here in the eastern savanna. Now, white rhino's larger of the 2 species here in Africa. Now they're kind of hanging out near the mud pit there, so oftentimes rhinos, they're going to wallow in that mud, coat themselves from head to toe. On a really hot day like today, that mud is like a sunscreen for them. And the white rhino, that does come from a misinterpretation from the Afrikaans word fight, meaning wide. So originally they were supposed to be known as the wide rhino. And a group of rhino, that's called a crash. They're going to crash into things if they aren't careful. It's because they do have very poor eyesight. Rhinos can only see about 15 to 20 feet in front of them, so they can't see us right now. They can certainly hear us for all I know. All the ostriches on the reserve are female. You can tell from the color of their feathers. Females have a slight gray feather, males have a dark black. The ostriches are the largest species of bird. They don't use those wings for flight like other birds, though. Wings open steer when they run between 35 and 40 miles an hour. It looks like hanging out over here at the outpost are the warden's Nigerian dwarf goats. I think the goats are cute. I want to get a little more up close and personal with them. I don't know, maybe pet them. You have on board the Wildlife Express. That's the train. I'll take you out to Rafiki's Planet Watch. Bring visit the affection sections and a pet zoo. You can pet the dwarf goats, pigs, sheep, all sorts of cute animals out there. And Rafiki's, that's open until 4:30 this evening. You ain't got play.
Hippos can hold their breath underwater for about 8 minutes at a time. They can even sleep down there, because their body will automatically raise them to the surface when they need a breath. Even if the animals are difficult to see, I need every seat flat on bottoms. Thank you. Which is as long as a giraffe stands tall. African wild dogs, also called painted dogs, for that beautiful fur coat. These are just dogs, so they're canids through and through. But they're not the docile, cuddly puppies that they kind of look like when sleeping. Painted dogs are the most successful and intelligent pack hunters in all of Africa. They have a 90% catch rate. Little blonde antelopes are called springbok. They're very appropriately named for how springy they are. They'll jump about 8 feet high into the air and about 13 to 14 feet out in front of them. So you could picture one flying right through this truck if they really wanted to. And then there's the Hartman's mountain zebra back there, which is the only subspecies of zebra with a dewlap. But the dewlap is an extra fold of skin that hangs off the neck of certain animals, and as they walk, it naturally sways from side to side, which sends a little bit of blood flow there and decreases the blood flow elsewhere in their body, which cools them down. And that's called thermoregulation. Now, most animals in Africa need to thermoregulate with how hot it is, but that's especially important for the ones that find themselves in the mountains, changing elevation all the time. Now, like a bloat of hippos, or a dazzle of zebra, we call a group of giraffe a tower. And this tower is made up of mostly Maasai giraffe, which you could think of like the messy giraffe, since they have kind of a dark, irregular look to their spots, especially when compared to the ones on your animal spotting guide. Those are reticulated giraffe up there. They have a boxier, more squished together, brighter orange. You can find them over at the Animal Kingdom Lodge. So just like the zebras and their stripes, we can tell all the different subspecies of giraffe apart based on their spots. We call a group of rhinos a crash. A lot of people would credit that to their bad eyesight. But remember, what they lack in eyesight, they make up for in hearing. And it's kind of funny, every time I raise my voice a little bit, you see the ears start to twitch towards the truck. Now, these are white rhino. That's the only kind that live on the savanna. They have flat, wide mouths, best suited for grass grazing. And that's very different from the black rhino of the rainforest, which have hooked upper lips to grab vegetation from trees, kind of like a giraffe's tongue. That's actually the biggest difference on those two, despite the name. Ostriches are the largest birds on the planet and the fastest animals on 2 legs.